Greg, how does it feel for you and the girls to be at state this year?
Well, I mean, it's always exciting. It's fun. You know, it's one of those things I think for the last several years, we probably set out at the beginning of the season as that being our goal, and come up short a few times, but it's a lot of fun when you finally break through and get the opportunity to go back.
I'm super excited. I've never been more excited. Just like, I can't wait.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really excited. I'm really excited to celebrate, first of all, but spend all this fun time with like my teammates and my friends. I'm just way excited for the experience too.
It feels really great, and it feels like we really deserved our spot in the tournament, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
And so now, how was everything this season so far, heading up to this point? And what did you think really got you thinking that this would be your year to head to Des Moines?
Well, we won a lot of games in a row, and then we lost one. Then we came back and won 11 more, and we just gel really well as a team, and we're very talented, and we work really hard, and so it was our goal.
Was there any point that you felt that this is clicking for you then?
Yeah, we played CPU pretty early on in the year, and then Clear Lake following them, and they're two really good teams, and we pulled out a victory for both of them, so those were two really good points for us.
I don't know. We knew we had a pretty tough schedule before Christmas, and when we got through a stretch of games against Clear Lake and Waukon and Western Dubuque, and Dubuque, Hempstead, Crestwood, and only lost one of those, I think as a coaching staff we started to feel like, you know, maybe we got a little bit more here than we thought we had, and you know, and our kids just we just kept improving a little bit at a time, and throughout the whole year. And I don't know if there was one point, but I think the belief that we could get there just started to increase throughout the course of the season.
Well, we've increased in our game a lot. Like, we've had a lot of chemistry that's like increased, and we're like super excited to play. Like.
What was there any point that you felt that this is going to be the year for you gals?
After we played Center Point, I feel like we had a lot more chemistry that game that like helped us. Like, after we won that game, I just felt like it was the point where we were like knew we were going to be good.
Well, I think that our team chemistry has helped a lot, and we've all been way good friends for so many years, and we started beating some really good teams before Christmas break, so that's when we knew that we were capable of doing so much this season.
What really solidified this feeling for you?
I'd say winning the conference for sure. That was a big confidence booster for all of us, and we knew that if we could do that, we could do anything, because Waukon and Cresco also made it to state, and we beat both of them, so yeah, we knew we were capable of doing anything.
Yeah, now you mentioned the Northeast Iowa Conference being like a 3A, 4A conference. You only have 7 teams in this league. So what do you think that other than like a Mississippi Valley Conference or a CIML makes the Northeast Iowa Conference such a good league in this level of basketball?
Well, I just feel like, I don't know, we all have a lot of good contenders, and I just feel like we're really hard workers. Like, we might not have a ton of people that play like AAU or club, but I know that a lot of us are just really good friends, and we just enjoy it.
A lot of our wins have helped us, but we've also had a lot of good practices to lead up to those games as well, and we've just had a lot of team chemistry to help build that momentum.
Now, has the weather been that much of a factor for you girls? Because you've had a lot of days where you could not practice, a lot of nights where your games were postponed to other nights. How's this winter been treating you?
I don't think it's affected us girls personally. We've still persevered and pushed through, practiced even when we didn't have school, and worked hard on days we couldn't, and so it hasn't affected us too much.
So who do you think has been key so far for your girls?
Well, I think
in this run,
our seniors have been fantastic. Laura Bates, a kid who played JV 2 quarters last year and then was off the bench as a sub, as a junior a year ago. Regional final game, 11 points, 16 rebounds. I mean, numbers that really, that's incredible for any player, let alone somebody who, really hadn't been a key part of what we've done until this year. Their leadership and just what they've done for us this year has been incredible between Olivia and Laura.
And then now, how about some of the other girls that have been also been key too?
Well, our 5 starters haven't changed all year. So Brittany Young has been really solid in the point guard position. Cameron Grayway is an incredible defender, and she throws in 9 points against Ballard in a huge game. And Abby Draper, our leading scorer, leads the team in blocks, those types of things. It's just a real difficult matchup for people. And off the bench, against Ballard, we just played 2 kids. Morgan Scott, a freshman, has, trying to feel out her role, but has done a pretty good job of filling a need. And the same thing, Kenzie Rowling. I think there's a lot more there in Kenzie, and we're starting to see a little bit of it here late in the year. And we've got a whole bunch of other kids who have given us, minutes here and there throughout the course of the season.
Now, how have you been preparing for Tuesday's contest then?
Well, we played Mason City before, so we kind of know how to prepare. And we've just been working on keeping them in front because defensively we're going to have to work really hard. They're a really good 3-point shooting team, and they're aggressive and everything. So we're working on transition and all that stuff too. So yeah.
Well,
there's a lot of things you can do to prep for somebody, but the number one thing for us against Mason City is we got to take care of the basketball. They get after you full court, run a lot of different presses, and we got to limit our turnovers. That's number one. I mean, that's most important. There's a lot of things we could do, but we got to take care of the ball. After that, we got to be aggressive offensively and get post touches. Defensively, we just got to be disciplined and contest shots and try to make it as challenging as we can for them to hit perimeter shots.
So what do you think the key will be to beat the Mohawks?
Well, I feel like we need to stop Megan Meyer, first of all, because every time we play them, she kind of goes off, and she's their team leader. She has all their assists. Kind of everything starts with her, so I feel like if we can contain her, that'll be a big thing for us.
So the key to moving on in this tournament, you had the 8 best teams in Class 4A. What do you think will be key to making it to towards the finals?
I think the biggest thing is don't feel like the moment's too big. You got to be comfortable. You know that you got to be a little comfortable being uncomfortable. That's just part of the state tournament. You're in an unfamiliar place. There's more people than you're used to having at your games.
Bigger court.
Bigger court. You're playing a great team every time you step on the floor there. So I think that's step one. But for us, our focus is solely on Mason City. And the things I talked about, we got to take care of the ball, we got to rebound the ball, we got to get post touches, and we got to challenge them on the perimeter and keep them away from the rim. Force them to play some mid-range basketball, and that'll give us a chance maybe.
So, what are your expectations now that you're heading on to the Well and playing more basketball into getting into just about almost getting into March now?
I think we should just be able to play better than we ever have before since we've made it this far. We just think that's what's going to happen.
So what about on Tuesday for your game, for your first round game? What are some ways you're preparing for your first rounder?
Like in practice.
Yeah, like practice, game plan. What do you think that has been key for you?
We've just been practicing really hard and together. We're never off task, and just.
It's been several years since you've taken girls down to Des Moines. What have you been able to impart on this squad that you've experienced in the past?
I think one of the things is just the schedule. Just the even though we're playing at a different time than we ever have, just the idea of we know what it looks like, we know the time that it takes to get there, where we can practice at, when we need to eat, just all those little things, hotel we're staying at, just things like that, that were all question marks for us first time around are just things that we know and we're comfortable with as a coaching staff, and the kids can see that. I don't think there's any question that they know. They can tell when the coaches are comfortable, and we're comfortable with that piece, so we can really turn a lot more of our focus onto Mason City than worrying about details of things that we're just unsure of.
Now, what are your expectations?
Assuming we get that far, if we do get that far, the main thing would just to be have fun and go out with a bang. There's not much else you can do at that point if you make it that far. Just play good basketball, play your game, and if you make it that far, you must not have to change much. So.
All right, thanks, Liv. So you can see the preparations are underway for the Waverly-Shell Rock girls basketball team, number 4 ranked in Class 4A, as they get ready to take on Mason City on Tuesday afternoon down at the Wells Fargo Arena. From Waverly-Shell Rock High School, this is Eric VanSickle reporting for Waverly Newspapers.